From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Weekly.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Weekly. We're glad you joined us for this look at what's happening in and around Troy University. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Well, Troy TrojanVision News won a pair of national awards this week. TrojanVision was awarded with Best TV Video Newscast and Best TV Video Promotion by the Intercollegiate Broadcasting System at its annual convention in New York City. TrojanVision was also a national finalist in 5 other categories. This was the first year TrojanVision participated in the IBS competition. Well, Rosa Parks helped launch a movement that changed America. Her action took place in the capital city, and that's where supporters gathered Tuesday to rally for Alabama to officially name a state holiday for the civil rights icon. Kaylin Boring has the details from our Montgomery News Bureau.
Please, let us honor this woman. It started in Montgomery. It started in Alabama. What happens in Alabama affects the whole nation.
Rosa Parks supporters gathered at the Alabama State House to rally for Rosa Parks Day to be implemented. Supporters of the bill want Rosa Parks Day to be recognized as a holiday on December 1st of every year. Chancellor Jack Hawkins of Troy University spoke out about his support for this bill.
You know, you don't have many opportunities in life to meet an icon, but in the 1990s when we were introduced to Miss Parks, as we were planning and ultimately building and opening the Rosa Parks Museum, we had a good bit of contact with her. And most great people are humble people. And she was an extremely humble person, more focused on the people around her than on herself. And I think, you know, you can understand how she had the deep-seated courage to do what she did. But she truly changed the history of our country and ultimately the world around her.
Troy students also attended the rally and gave students some advice on what they can do.
It would be a mark of positive change and a mark of meaning that we can honor someone who worked every day of her life for the good of the person ahead of her or for the good of the person next to her. I think it would be wonderful, and I personally would take my day out of my time on December 1st to celebrate her life and her legacy.
State legislator Laura Hall and Senator Vivian Figures have sponsored bills in both the House and Senate to designate December 1st Rosa Parks Day in Alabama. In Montgomery, Kaylin Boring, Troy TrojanVision News.
The brothers of Troy's Alpha Tau Omega fraternity are making a trip to Panama City Beach for spring break, but they aren't making the trip by car. They're walking there. Seth Hawk gives us a preview of this year's Walk Hard fundraiser.
128.3 miles. That's the distance between Troy University and Panama City Beach, Florida. And over 30 men from Troy's Alpha Tau Omega fraternity are about to head to the beach on foot during ATO's annual Walk Hard event.
Walk Hard is a 6-day, 128.3-mile walk from Troy University to Panama City Beach, and it is a walk put on by ATO, and we walk for Jeep Sullivan's Wounded Warrior Outdoor Adventures, so we support wounded veterans.
The walkers aren't alone during their walk, as they have multiple brothers attend to them through the Walk Hard support team.
Basically what we do is make sure all the walkers are well taken care of. Physically, we help with their blisters, wrapping their feet, making sure that they're able to walk. And we also feed them, make sure they get lunch every day, make sure they're well hydrated, and just make sure that they're safe as they're walking down the road. Generally,
ATO members only walk once, but there are some members that choose to walk multiple times. And according to one walker that is about to make the walk for the 3rd time, he puts his body through this out of respect for the armed forces.
Honestly, it's just for the veterans. I am not in the I'm not in the military. A bunch of my family is a part of the military, and I feel like this is a way that I'm able to give back while suffering at the same time. A majority of the people here have only done it one time. So the people in our group, we have about 4 or 5 people that have done it more than once.
The brothers participating in this year's Walk Hard event will leave the Troy campus at 8 a.m. on Friday morning from Troy's main quad. Seth Hawk, Troy TrojanVision News.
Monday night, Troy University's Student Government Association honored 6 young women for their outstanding leadership here on Troy's campus. Yolanda Allen has that story.
The Student Government Association presented Outstanding Women Awards to 6 Troy University seniors. The award was actually announced a week ago, but Monday night in the International Arts Center was the night to honor and present these outstanding ladies their award.
And it's really our way as an organization to honor women of achievement, service, and character. Because we have so many students from so many different paths, and they've all done so many great things. So tonight we really got to see that with the 6 women that got awarded.
Some of the ladies were surprised to be nominated for the award.
I was really surprised when I got nominated, just because there's so many people on Troy's campus who are deserving and who have accomplished really big things.
I really didn't expect to get this, especially on my senior year. I didn't know that I would be receiving any type of award.
The ladies were allowed to bring their family and friends, but one did not have so much of that luxury.
I'm an international student, so I don't have like my family and my mom and my dad here with me, but I have my amazing friend here, which make me like really happy because, you know, who else do you want to celebrate it?
The Outstanding Women Awards is for seniors that accomplish a lot on campus, and these ladies absolutely have accomplished a lot.
I was the president of the Vietnamese Student Association for 2 years, just kind of like representing Vietnamese culture.
Track and field and cross country team and being captain of those girls on the team, I really realized how much you can impact a group of girls and how much one person can influence.
I definitely feel like I accomplished almost everything that I wanted to before I graduate in July.
The SGA continues to present the Outstanding Women Awards every spring semester. Yolanda Allen, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
We'll take a short break, but when we return, we'll see how Troy students learned about ways to stay safe during their spring break. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
This is Dr. Daniel Smith. He's an expert in domestic and international economics. But his proudest achievement is connecting with his students and helping them accomplish more than they ever thought possible. That's the warrior spirit, and it's alive and well at Troy University. Feel it at troy.edu/spirit.
It's the Talk of Troy. Voices and sounds from the campuses of Troy University.
The price that was paid for where we are today, I think sometimes we take for granted the progress we've made as if it were always like this. It wasn't always like this.
Join us for the Talk of Troy, Fridays at 8:45 a.m. and 3:44 p.m. and Sundays at 4:35 p.m. on Troy Public Radio.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
Alumni often return to campus to share whatever lessons they've learned in the professional world to students. And last Thursday, members of Troy's Department of Art and Design got to learn a little bit from one of its former students. Nathaniel Rodriguez has the story.
Troy alumnus and working artist Madison Fail returned to his exhibit Prodigal Son in Troy University's International Arts Center Thursday night to tell his story before a crowd of students, faculty, and other visitors. Fail started making art as a child and went on to study at Troy, where he said his artistic knowledge was magnified.
And after that, I got out into the world and decided and willed myself that I'm going to be a working artist, and that's what I've done. And it took a lot of hard work and determination, but I think that we've done good.
Several visitors to the opening said that being able to see the work of a Troy graduate like Fail may serve as an inspiration to Troy students.
I think that they realize it doesn't have to be all about color. You know, it can be subdued and still have a huge impact. I mean, every single piece in this room gives you a different feeling.
My hope really is that Madison becomes the first of many alumni students that come back here to show their artwork.
And as for Fail, he said he wanted students to get validation in their passion for art by using him as an example.
A lot of kids who are artists and art majors get a lot of scrutiny from their peers and family saying that it's not a viable career, but I really wanted to be here tonight to let people know that it is. And Troy is a great place to get an art degree from.
Next week is Troy University's spring break, and Trojan Outreach wanted to encourage students to be as safe as possible. Joshua Thomas shows us how.
Troy University's Trojan Outreach program started a Spring Break Safety Week Tuesday afternoon in the Trojan Center with Condom Sense, the promoting of safe and consented sex during spring break. Peer educator Brianna Maple shares the goals of the event.
So today, well, the whole week we're having Safe Spring Break Week. Today our topic is
promoting safe sex, and basically we're telling students that if you choose to have sex without using protection, it's like spinning a roulette STD wheel of what you may get.
The members of Trojan Outreach comment on why they feel safe sex and consent is important to remember during spring break.
Okay, so basically, I feel that safe sex is important because everyone needs to make sure that they're being safe. If they choose to have sex without using protection, you could risk getting an STD.
I think consent matters because I feel like that's just a natural human thing that you need to make sure if you are wanting to have sex with someone that they agree to that, and that's just not okay if they don't.
Trojan Outreach member Hannah Knott talks about the different items students can find at the Common Sense table.
So at the table we have a raffle that's going to be going on all week long that you can sign to win a free turtle float. We also have the consent form that just kind of tells kind of going through what safe sex is and all that stuff and just what consent is. And then we also are passing out free waters and juices.
Joshua Thomas, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Both Trojan basketball teams are trying to work their way into March Madness. However, Troy students had the chance to experience a little major madness in Trojan Arena Wednesday afternoon. Yolanda Allen has all the action.
Not everyone comes to college with a major picked out. Troy University Career Services hosts Major Madness in Trojan Arena to help students that are undeclared to choose a major.
I hope that they learn opportunities. Just what does Troy offer? If maybe it's not the main major that they came in thinking, maybe they didn't know that we had a minor in a certain area that they're also interested in. So I think overall we just really want them to find their options here at Troy.
Some students have possible majors in mind but visit the tables to get some clarity.
I've narrowed it down to 3. And this is helping me get some closure on what I want to do, but I'm still kind of confused.
I wanted to learn about the different majors. I actually already have a major, but I wanted to learn about the other ones and see what my major was doing and what career professions my major had.
The thought of changing majors come across many students.
Just kind of see what Troy has to offer just besides just kind of what I've chosen right now. I'm not really quite sure what I want to do, so I thought I'd come here and check it out.
It can be tough to figure out what you're interested in, but easy for some to know what they're not interested in.
I looked at some hospitality management. I don't know if I could see myself doing that, but it kind of intrigued me.
Probably all the hard sciences, to be honest.
Math and science and all that kind of stuff.
The next Career Service event is the Career Fair on April the 4th in the Trojan Center Ballroom. Yolanda Allen, Troy, TrojanVision News.
A career-ending injury is something no athlete wants to face. However, former college athlete Inky Johnson uses his experience to motivate young people, and he brought his message to Troy University Tuesday night. Brianna Jones has that story.
For some people, the name Inky Johnson might not ring a bell, but for others, they know him as the former college football player whose life changed 8 days before he was supposed to enter the NFL draft. Johnson came to Troy University to tell his story and discuss its importance.
You know, everybody knows what to do when everything is going right, and that's no knock to anybody. They should know what to do when everything is going right, but everybody doesn't know how to respond when adversity, opposition, and challenges hit. And unfortunately, but fortunately for me, I faced adversity in 2009. I was on this track to the NFL, playing football at the University of Tennessee. And I made a tackle and I almost lost my life. But not only did I almost lose my life, my career ended and I got left with a paralyzed right arm and hand. But I responded, because I lived my life a certain type of way, but most importantly, I had people around me that helped me get my life back on track.
Johnson was chosen for the second annual Troy Ignite, hosted by Troy Athletics, and Troy student Cameron Rice shared why he picked Johnson to speak.
There was something he said to me, he spoke about tonight, about trusting the process. And I was right in the brink of starting to run track. I'm here running track at Troy now. And he said that one thing to me, and literally I've been following him ever since, became a huge mentor to me. Since then, has grown as a person. Even as a mentor spiritually has been a big thing. And I knew that what he brought to the table as a speaker would be able to help a lot of people. Just from what he's done for me, I knew that it would bring and help people at Troy University and people who ever watch.
No matter where we come from, no matter color, race, ethnic background, religion, the one thing that we all have in common as people is we're all going to face adversity. We're all going to face it on different levels. We're all going to go through something. And so I just so happen to go through adversity, and I think people can identify with it because of how I handled it.
Brianna Jones, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll see how some area runners got a little color added to their life. That's right after this, so stay with us.
No doubt you're going places, young lady.
Thank you. And thank you for the interview as well. I can imagine it was the last thing that you wanted to do after such a long campaign meeting.
You really are a very intelligent young woman. You're very smooth.
You're very smooth yourself.
You have no idea.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
When some people hear the word run and 5K put together in a sentence, they may assume they're in for a tedious workout. However, as Chelsea Law shows us, Kappa Delta sorority members have added an interesting shade to an otherwise uncolorful task.
Saturday morning, Kappa Delta sorority held their annual Color Me KD 5K color run. Participants were able to choose between a 5K or 1K fun run that took place throughout Troy's campus. Runners had a choice between completing a normal run or being blasted with colorful powder.
It's a good exercise. It's a great way to make money and be able to help children who really need help in whatever they need.
Though some people see this as just a fun, colorful event, one national and local organization is reaping the benefits.
All the proceeds go to Prevent Child Abuse America and the local Troy Child Advocacy Center. 80% of the money that we raise does go to the one in Troy, and then the other 20% goes to the national PCAA.
Although running may not be some people's favorite thing to do in their spare time, some participants agreed that running through a bunch of color put a different hue on the physical activity.
Well, I haven't exercised in about 2 months, so it was a challenge for me.
Unique. It's a bit unique because, you know, usually I'm in the military. We usually do runs like this all the time, but you never get chalk thrown at you.
Getting color thrown on you is pretty fun. Unless it gets in your mouth, then you start spitting blue and you start coughing up blue, and it's not all that fun. But getting plastered with color on your clothes is pretty fun.
Troy is often referred to as Alabama's international university due to the diversity of students from around the world. However, last Friday, international relations was part of a fun learning activity for area middle schoolers. Brianna Jones shows us how.
Middle school students came to Troy University's campus on Friday to model what we know as the United Nations. This all took place in the Trojan Center ballrooms, and the director of the event, Dr. Robin Bynum, explains what that means.
It's a writing competition for students, but there's also a professional development component for teachers. And we train, the Southeast Alabama Regional In-Service Center, we provide professional development for 21 school districts in Southeast Alabama. So we provide some workshops for teachers on how to prepare teams for the Model United Nations Assembly.
For many people, this may have been cute or a laughing matter, but for these students who took it very seriously, they discussed detrimental topics such as 50% of the teenagers in South Africa being raped or kidnapped, also Spain's corruption issues. These students said the research wasn't easy.
It is hard doing the research because sometimes you can't find exactly what you're looking for, and sometimes the dates may not be up to date and it may be unreliable, so it can be difficult at times.
We start St. Moon in September. I know it's a long time. We work very hard. We meet 2 or 3 days a week on St. Moon, and we just research about our countries and our problems.
And Bynum says children don't walk away from this event empty-handed.
After they've competed in this competition, they have gained skills to understand how to write an argumentative essay or persuasive piece, which is their resolution. They have researched their country, and they've written a resolution that is really based on a true need of that country in the current time.
Brianna Jones, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
It's often said that the eyes are the window to the soul, connecting people to one another. But what does it mean when they're covered? That's one of the questions that a new exhibit at the Johnson Center for the Arts seeks to answer. Nathaniel Rodriguez has the story.
Troy's Johnson Center for the Arts is displaying the work of Birmingham artist Gary Chapman in a new exhibit titled All Over the Place. The artwork, located in the upper galleries, is made up of multiple series by Chapman, but especially features his Helmet series.
Originally, it thought about doing about 30 of these pieces of artwork, and he narrowed it down to 16. We're fortunate we have 12 of the pieces.
Hopper said the helmets serve as political commentary on the mindsets of Americans after the 9/11 attacks and how they close themselves off afterwards.
You'll notice that every helmet is unique. There's something different about every helmet. And the main thing you'll notice is the eyes are covered in each piece of artwork.
Visitors to the exhibit will also notice that the helmets appear again in photographs scattered throughout the gallery. These photographs contain locations ranging from churches to places in nature.
The message is still there about the helmets, but it's in different environments. And that is to tell the world that no matter where we go, we always kind of shelter ourselves from some of the things we see.
Chapman will be at the Johnson Center on March 15th for an artist reception, along with fellow artist Terry Strickland. Nathaniel Rodriguez, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Well, it's time for our last break, but when we return, we'll learn about a new speaker series presented by the Sorrell College of Business. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Oh, it's going to be great.
I think it goes around.
Let's go. We got to get you in practice.
And it's set.
This is the moment I knew his future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
You were supposed to make a right, but you made a left. And it's okay, you found your way. On a personal note, as I was counseling the two of you.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
The Sorrell College of Business is trying to give students some insight to the real world through a series of lectures. We'll learn more about the series in this week's Trojan Talk. Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. My guests today are Olivia Walliser and Jeanette Baum with the Sorrell College of Business, here to talk about a speaker series to kind of give some real world experience to students. Thank you both for joining me here today. And first off, tell me a little about the speaker series. What's going on with it?
Yeah, so basically it's a speaker series that involves, like as far as what you learn in the classroom, it applies it. And we have experts all the way from small business owners to students who actually own their own online business. So it's all about how they do it and some real world tips they have to apply business aspects and personal finance aspects to the real world.
To the real world. And that's probably something that sometimes gets missed in the classroom. You're learning numbers and facts and figures, but how does it really apply to the real world? So is that kind of the goal behind this, is getting students a chance to mix this knowledge up?
Definitely. So the title of this series is actually called Geek Speak, and Geeks is our mission statement at the Sorrell College of Business. And one of those factors that we try so hard to involve our students in is engage with the business community. And so we want to ensure that our students are engaging as much as possible with the real world, so that when they enter into their own lives, create their own companies, have their own businesses, that they're able to look back at their time at Troy and see that what they learned in the classroom also applies to their daily lives outside of it.
And they can do that. And through these speeches, and talk about, I guess, the speaker schedule, because you're kind of packing a lot in a short amount of time over the course of a month. There's twice a week. Tell me a little about the schedule on this thing.
Sure. So we are having, it's going to be a 4-week series. So we're having 2 speakers a week. So the series starts the week right after we return from spring break. It starts that Thursday, and then it kicks off and it goes all the way until April 13th. So the speeches are mainly on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they're at varying times, just so the most number of kids can attend each one. But they're all held in Bibb Graves, so if anyone wants a full list of dates, schedules, time, that can all be found on the Sorrell College of Business Facebook page.
All right, and because that location could be subject to change depending on the particular date. So just keep your eyes open, but I'm sure if they showed up for one of these events, someone will be able to point them in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So, and let's talk a little bit about the first one that's going on, and that will be you said the Thursday right after spring break. So come back from having some fun on the beach and learn about personal finance, right?
Personal finance, yep. And Miss Diana Lee from Troy Bank and Trust is actually going to kick off our speaker series. And she's going to be talking about personal finance and how it applies to college students.
And now we talk about this is the Sorrell College of Business doing this, but is this just for business students, or can anybody take part in this?
Absolutely. So basically, it's open to all students because business actually applies to more than just specific business majors. So we really want all Troy students to benefit from this, and we welcome and we encourage everyone to show up.
And in that regard, you talked about there, your first one's about personal finance, but you mentioned earlier that one of them is about a student with their own business. Is that right? So that may be something that gets people's minds thinking about what the possibilities could be for them as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. Exactly. His online business, he owns his own production company. So he talks a lot about building a company online and how he balances that in college. And so pretty much anyone can benefit if they are thinking about starting their own business in the future. Just a lot of good opportunity to learn some good tips.
And that's what I said. It sounds like it kind of runs the gamut there, because that's, a student at that level who's already started a business, but then once again, the very first one, personal finances, yes, that might apply to a business major, but I mean, what college student doesn't have trouble balancing their checkbook out there?
Exactly.
So, and obviously opportunity for that there. Now, once again, for anybody who's interested in taking part, especially in this first one, tell us kind of like when and where they can expect to check out the first of the speaker series.
Sure. So our first one is going to be in Bibb Graves Hall, room 143. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And I believe, obviously, that's Miss Diana Lee from Troy Bank and Trust, but I believe the date on that is March 22nd.
March 22nd, so the Thursday after spring break, right after you come back. And then after that, it'll be every Tuesday and Thursday, in dates and locations subject to change. But you can find out from the Sorrell College of Business website, correct, or kind of pop in and ask. I'm sure there will be some sort of publication somewhere in Bibb Graves Hall for that.
Oh, we've got posters everywhere.
Posters
Take
everywhere.
a look on the wall.
Good opportunity to learn a little life lessons, whether you're in the College of Business or not. I want to thank you both for joining me here today to kind of give us an idea of what students can learn about personal business and getting to know some real world knowledge there. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us, Aaron.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk. And that's what happened this week. To find out what's happening throughout the week, you can tune in to Troy TrojanVision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30 Monday through Friday, or anytime by following us on Twitter at Troy TV News. Also, feel free to like our Troy TrojanVision News fan page on Facebook to see links to online content from Troy TrojanVision News. We hope you join us again in 2 weeks for another edition of Troy TrojanVision Weekly. Have a good week.